Our third candidate today to speak to you is Jay Old. Jay is from Jefferson County, the Beaumont area. Jay?
Well, good afternoon. I want to do a little audience participation, if you don't mind, real quick. I want to see a show of hands from you. How many of you have sat around the kitchen table or the dinner table with friends or your family and talked about politics? All right, I figured. All right. How did J.O. get into this race? I've never run a race before. I never really dreamed of myself or thought of myself as a politician. I got into this race because this summer, in particular, after I've had a lot of involvement in legislative matters, and I'll talk about that, but this summer, when our nation's leaders were deciding not to address our debt problems and to allow a super committee to be formed, and we would wait another 2, 3, 4 months until they had addressed the problems, and we know what happened there, I got mad. And my kids and I have an 18-year-old daughter, and she's a student body president in her high school, and a 15-year-old son who's working on his Eagle. And we were talking and trying to explain to them what was going on with our government and what it meant to be running out of money. Okay, that's a pretty scary thing to a teenager. All right? It's a scary thing to me, but much more so even to them, and what that would mean to them. And I realized, as my wife and I have 20 years, her name's Ann Clary. Ann Clary and I have talked to them about being involved. We try to provide an example by being involved in our community, in our church, our profession. And we tried to teach them, and I think they've done a good job of following up on our instruction about getting involved themselves and being leaders. I realized that I had not done a credible job of that because I wasn't taking the next step. I have the skills, the intellect, the ability, the desire to do something about this problem. And many of you in this room do too. Many of you are already servants in whatever fashion that you may function in. But I'm ready to take a step to do something to preserve and secure the future for our children, for your grandchildren. Because we were given an opportunity in this country by our parents and our grandparents that we can't squander. Okay? And it's time for my generation, I'm 48, to answer your question about age, Dr. Kramer, 48 years old. It's time for my generation to step up and take the reins and be leaders in our country. So that's why I'm in the race. I was born and raised in Beaumont, educated at Texas A&M University, went on to Texas Tech Law School. I practiced law as a defense lawyer, first at Andrews and Kurth in Houston, Texas, then at a firm called Germer Gertz in Beaumont. I was a 6th lawyer there. We have a few more than that now. We have about 60 lawyers in Beaumont, Houston, and Austin. My beach property ended up in East Chambers County. Where did yours go? Okay? I understand the beach. I understand living on the coast. I worked with our Chamber of Commerce for about 8 or 10 years, I can't remember, on their legislative committee on issues regarding deepening and widening our ports. I've gone with them to Austin to lobby for our community, legislative days, Golden Triangle Days is what they're called for Jefferson County. I've represented as the chapter counsel for the Associated Builders and Contractors in Southeast Texas. I've represented them for 12 years. I've represented a number of building contractors that work in your plants. I've represented a number of industrial and chemical manufacturers as well. We've been to Washington, D.C. lobbying for interests as well. So I have a lot of experience and understand issues that relate to our community. There's a lot of similarities between Jefferson County in particular and Galveston County. Frankly, in all 3 of these counties, I think that we can take advantage of in the future together. You're still recovering from Hurricane Ike. I've been through Dr. Raymer's facility at UTMB. I've seen the plastic sheets and all the construction, the $1 billion in losses. I've been through your businesses. I've been downtown and I've seen the watermarks at the bank. I know that we have a lot to do. I'm impressed with A&M Galveston, another whoop for A&M. All their research, 80% of the pilots that go to guide these ships in and out of our ship channel come from Texas A&M Galveston. They're doing worldwide research, world-renowned research in water. 95% of the goods that are sent across the globe go over that waterway that is 70% of our globe. Our port here is a phenomenal economic engine. When the Panama Canal opens up and expands in 2014, we're going to have to be prepared for it, and I want to help you do that. My name is Jay Old. I'd like to be your next congressman. Thank you very much.